Good morning, Kingsley community. Pastor Colleen Wehrman here, coming to you with another daily devotion for Monday, September 21st, 2020. I hope you're having a good Monday morning. If not, get some more coffee. I'm using 40 Days with Jesus by The Chosen. So it's day 15 that we're in, and the devotional is entitled Rock. And this comes from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 16, verses 18 through 19. This is Jesus speaking to Peter. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. His name was Simon, the writers of The Chosen say. So what is strange and presumptuous? How do you do? To be told your new name would be Peter. I'm sorry, what? His brother Andrew was all in already. He'd been a disciple of John the Baptist, and when John identified Jesus as the Messiah, it was all the proof Andrew needed. He became one of Jesus's first disciples, and he was good at it. By all accounts, Andrew was steady, studied, good-natured, and easy to have around. As for Simon, not so much. Simon Peter was emotional. When Jesus tried to wash his feet, Peter refused to allow the master's humble service. Simon was impulsive. When soldiers came to arrest Jesus, Peter drew his sword and cut off his ear. Sometimes Simon was afraid of stuff. After Jesus' arrest, all of Peter's ear-cutting bravado vanished. All of his instability begs the question, why did Jesus call him Peter, especially considering that Peter means rock? The answer? Jesus makes us what we're not. Let me read that again. Jesus makes us what we're not. Notice some of the correlations between the pre-Jesus Peter and the post-Jesus Peter. Pre-Jesus Peter was directed by emotion. Post-Jesus Peter was directed by his intense love for Jesus. Pre-Jesus Peter was impulsive. Post-Jesus Peter was stable, but the culture was not. Christianity was changing everything, and leading that charge required the ability to adjust, pivot, and respond to the Holy Spirit on the fly. We know that word pivot, don't we? And finally, pre-Jesus Peter was afraid. Post-Jesus Peter was afraid of ever turning his back on Jesus again, therefore becoming fearless regarding everything else. And the same power that transformed the unruly fisherman is at work in all who believe. Jesus accepts us as we are, but he knows who will become by his power, and he's making us what we're not yet. So I love that. So know that you are not yet, but through the power of the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ is transforming you from glory to glory, turning you into what he knows you already are, but you aren't yet. So he knew that Peter would be the rock, and just before he says that his name is Peter, the scriptures tell us that Jesus asked the disciples, who do people say that I am? And Peter proclaimed, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And on that testimony is what built the church. Not Peter himself, but on his testimony that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. So if you believe in that, know that God's not done with you yet. And you can be impulsive, and you can be an angry person, or you can be a grumpy person, or you can be weak, and you can be afraid. But know that God can transform you little by little and glory by glory to what you're not yet, but what you will soon be. And he does it so that he can show the world his power, not your power. So the next time you think you can't do something for God, dig in deep to the prayer to the Holy Spirit to give you the words, and they will come. They might not come smoothly and elegantly like certain speakers. They might come weakly and stuttered. But you know what? Whoever you're speaking to needs to hear it exactly the way the Spirit gives it to you to speak. And so if it's stuttering and kind of feeling a little awkward, know that that person feels insecure, and they figure, you know what, if you're going to be brave enough to tell me your story, then God must be doing something in you. So let others see what God's doing in you. It's okay to talk about your weaknesses. Just don't overcompensate for your weaknesses, because God is changing us into who we are not yet, but who we will soon be. So here's a couple of questions. What are your primary weaknesses? We have to know our strengths and we have to know our weaknesses. I talked about this yesterday, but we don't put confidence in either one of them because we have a tendency to overcompensate either way. We either talk too much about our strengths and we become puffed up and prideful and full of ego, or we talk too much about our weaknesses, which is really a prideful way to speak also, because we do it so that others will feed our ego. Oh, you're really good. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. And the next is, in what ways have you seen God transform your heart and mind? And finally, write down a weakness you want to turn into a strength and commit to praying for help and working on it. So those are great questions for today. Enjoy your day. It's going to be beautiful this week. This is the last day of summer. I'm sad about that, but I love fall. So look forward to the beautiful colors changing. And when you see something, thank God for his beauty in creation. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day.